Hey guys, and Merry Christmas. Today, I will be reviewing Eight Crazy Nights. Eight Crazy Nights is an animated movie directed by Seth Keeler and starring Adam Sandler. So it begins with this guy named Dave Lee, but I'm gonna call him Dave. And one night he gets super drunk and gets in trouble, and the judge is planning on throwing him in prison, but a man named Whitey volunteers to, help Dave with his problem and to get him to understand the meaning of Hanukkah. And oh yeah, fun fact, this is a Hanukkah movie. Well, they do mention Christmas, but they also mention Hanukkah, which that's pretty cool. Yeah. So Whitey, he takes them to a mall where he meets this girl named Lindsay, if I remember correctly, that's her name. And she's a childhood friend of Dave's, and she has a son. So later they go home and Dave, goes home. Yeah. And Whitey, gets his car stuck until a bunch of deer help his car get unstuck. Next day they're at a basketball game, and a bunch of guys are playing basketball, and Dave says that when he was in middle school he was a good basketball player. Yeah, and he challenged them to a game of basketball. Whitey gets knocked out. Yeah, and they win the basketball game. Yeah, and his childhood friend's son. Yeah, he's there. Yeah, and this guy is also forced to eat this other guy's jockstrap. Yeah. So, yeah, and also explained by Whitey that he wants to win this award, for being the greatest basketball coach for 35 years. Wow, that's a long time. Dave's trailer gets burned down by the guys, from the basketball game. And he's forced to live. Well, he has to live with Whitey and his sister Edna. At first, he doesn't like it, but he gets around to it, and he starts to become more of a better person. And they go to a skating ring, and Whitey reveals, Dave's backstory, being that his parents died due to an accident, which explains why Dave is the way he is. Dave gets really angry and storms off and says some mean things. Then there's the gala that's having the award ceremony, and Whitey doesn't win. He gets upset at him. Dave, he breaks into a mall while he was drunk, and he escapes to a bus, but he gets off so he can apologize. And he makes it to the gala, and he's also saw that Whitey didn't win the award, and he goes in there and starts explaining himself. And this is where we get the best scene ever from the movie, the bum diddy biddy biddy bum bum, scene. You probably saw this scene like a lot, be memed on. Yeah, I love this scene. Yeah, and also the song. Bum bitty 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 bum bum. Bum bitty 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 bum. Bum bitty bitty. Yeah. Anyway, so they meet Whitey at the mall, and the committee awards Whitey with the 35th, you know, 35th coach award, and he falls in love with his childhood friend. Yeah, and that's it. My thoughts on this movie. I love this movie. This movie's pretty hilarious. Like, there are some really hilarious jokes, such as, basically from Adam Sandler's character, Davey. Yeah. and also with, and also, some other things, other comedic things. Yeah. And also Whitey, he has to be my favorite character. Like, he's just straight up just a kind old dude who basically saw this guy and said that, yeah, he could be redeemed, even though everybody else gave up on him, which I just really like that. And he also does a lot of odd jobs, and helps out the community, but he's not appreciated for it. Yeah, and glad, Whitey got that award. He deserves it. So, but the one problem of this movie is Davey himself. He's too much of an asshole. Like, he has like no redeemable traits. And just because his parents died and he was a nice kid when he was in middle school doesn't count as a redeemable trait. Yeah, which, not gonna lie, it makes his change feel unnatural. Yeah. But anyway, I ranked this movie story wise. I give it story wise, I give it 3 stars, but comedy wise, I give it 4 stars. It's a good comedic movie, but it is an adult movie. It's one of those movies that you watch with your friends, and not with your family, because it has, very edgy jokes, and very adult jokes. So yeah, it's one of those movies you watch, with the boys, with your friends, with the homies. So yeah. So all I gotta say is Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah or Happy Kwanzaa, and comment down below, what was your reaction when you first saw this movie back in 2002? What was your reaction? Comment down below. I'd love to hear it. So this has been Brandon Reacting Reviewers, and stay tuned for my next review on Polar Express. So yeah, that's all. Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, or Happy Hanukkah. Yeah, or Happy Holidays. Even though I don't like saying Happy Holidays, I know a lot of people don't celebrate Christmas. So yeah, once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. And I'm out. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the name of the movie 8 Crazy Nights come from the 8 days of Hanukkah. Yeah. Pretty fun fact. Alright, that's all. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas! Santa Claus ability.
Authorize. Progrise.
Happy Christmas! Rising Hopper!
May your Christmas wishes come true.